Hello, hello. It's Michelle Welch here with Roger Welch and Matt Stoker for another episode of SoulTopia TV.
Yes.
How are y'all doing?
Good. Finally back.
From where?
We've been to New York. We've been all over the place. We went to the fishing today a little bit.
You've been all over the place because you drove to New York.
Yes, I did.
Which was
Fun.
quite
It was
Tell me about it.
Fun. So it was about, if you don't like just driving, right? It's 24 and a half hours roughly.
Yeah, I'm out.
Yeah, so 24 and a half hours. But I downloaded some stuff on my iPad to listen to while I'm driving, so that wasn't too bad.
Did you listen or did you watch?
No, you could just say legal to watch.
So you listened.
So I listened. Mostly.
Yeah.
But the cool thing is that it was it was pretty, leaving here because I left here on that Saturday evening when it was raining so hard. Mm-hmm. So I had that crazy rain the whole time.
Yeah, you were.
Yeah, but
and you got pulled over in Arkansas.
I got pulled over in Arkansas.
Highlight of the trip. What happened with that?
I don't think you told me. I don't remember you telling me that.
Yeah, I didn't tell you that.
Welcome, Matt. I'm sorry,
hello.
I didn't even
How
let
are
you say hi there.
So, you know what? It was bullshit because, first of all, I'm driving that big panel van. Okay, if you hit a gust of wind, it kind of wobbles
What's a panel
little bit,
van?
like a Sprinter van.
I don't know what a Sprinter van is.
So it's tall,
big tall van.
Okay.
They're long, they're solid. So if you hit a little wind hits the side of it, it wobbles a little bit. Well, the guy, he was a young guy, and I saw him too. The thing was, the speed limit was 75. I set it at 73.
Where were you in Arkansas?
So
did you say?
About halfway through.
Well, I don't know.
Between Texarkana and Memphis, I was about
Okay.
halfway, and so I was like, you know what? I'll just keep cruising. I'll set my cruise at 73. I'm below the speed limit because he's running like 60. He's just running 60. I'm like, I'm not going to stop in behind him because he thinks, everybody should stop behind him.
Yeah,
So-
I never know what to do.
Yeah,
Do
so
y'all?
I just set it at 73.
When they're cruising and they're
Yeah.
going under the speed limit, are you supposed to just kind of fall back behind him like he's the lead car?
Yeah, no.
What do they call those in NASCAR? That car, the
pace
pace
car.
car.
Pace car?
Pace car.
Yeah, well,
like
he-
he's the pace car. Or are you supposed to go behind him or are you supposed
He
to
is a
pass him?
punk-ass pace car is what he was.
Matt, do you pass them? Do you stay
You
behind?
pass.
If I can pass them by going the speed limit or under, I'm going to pass them.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a trap if you go a little over the speed limit. but-
Exactly. That's what they're looking
I think it's an
for.
ultra trap. If you hang back behind them, they're probably in their car just laughing.
Yeah, because then there's
Right.
I wonder why this guy's hanging out behind and not passing.
Yeah,
That's what they
he
do.
must be
So he'll
smoking
be like,
weed.
let me ease off at this exit. I'll let them pass, and then I'll come up behind them and run their tags.
They do.
That's
And
what
that
they
is
do.
What
And so I
did
didn't
you
do that.
deserve to be pulled over?
No, because he was like, oh, I was wanting to check on you. No, I was driving a panel van. I was driving that Sprinter van, so he wanted to see what was inside the van.
Well, yeah, which is
That's what he
fair.
wanted. That's what he wanted to do. Big van coming out of Texas, and he wanted to see what was in it.
And what was in it?
Me. Me and all of our stuff going to New York.
But he said it was kind of,
He said I wobbled a little
You
bit.
were
He wanted
wobbling.
to check on me, make sure I was okay. I'm like, dude, I'm fine. It's no big deal here at all.
yeah.
And I was like,
you
I
weren't
played
falling
his game.
asleep.
I played his game with him. I said, "Where's the next truck stop?" Oh, exit 262. I said, "Great, I'll see you up there then."
Smart ass. Oh, well.
And I drove on. Actually, I drove because that first night I actually drove all the way to North Mississippi and stopped at my folks' house and slept there.
Yeah.
Got up and then drove from there. Where did I slept to Virginia?
You were in Virginia forever. And Matt, you have
Yeah,
I know the
because
springs out there,
well,
but
actually,
Matt, you have relatives
yeah.
there, right? And so
I do. I'm trying to fix the
I know
webcam
you
right
are.
now
I'll
for
come-
whatever reason. It's stopped
Yeah,
working.
we've got some. Everything was taken to New York in that van, and now
Yep.
we're back on with the podcast. So just bear with
Yep.
us. But so Roger, you were in Virginia. It seemed like for days to me.
Yeah, because I stopped there and I actually, I stopped and I slept in I slept in the van, guys, because it wasn't that big
He
a deal.
had a blow-up
I had
mattress.
a mattress
in the van.
I had a blow-up mattress with
the whole thing was
covers and
sketch.
everything.
That is pretty
Why?
sketch. Well,
At the welcome centers, there's like probably at least a dozen people sleeping there, just like I was. I had a mattress; they were sleeping in their car, sitting in the seat. I'd climb up in the back. I did get cold. I had to turn the heat on. For a
where
couple
in
hours.
Virginia?
Yeah, in Virginia. It was cold a couple of nights. I was.
So
slept
were
there.
you in I don't want to sound dumb here. Okay, there's Virginia.
Yes,
And there's Virginia.
But I was in Virginia.
Why do I always think of two Virginias? Because the Civil War?
West
There's West
Virginia,
Virginia.
West Virginia, and Virginia.
I do not know my
One's
geography.
east, one's west.
Okay, well,
Virginia is where
where
I
were
was,
you?
though.
Virginia?
Yeah, because I rode, it was what's called the Blue Ridge Parkway. Part of that is up in there. It was beautiful, though. I like all the hills, how green.
It's
the
very
old
pretty through there.
barns,
Yeah.
you know. And super, honestly, it was an easy drive. Everybody's like, oh my God, that's incredible. You know what? It was totally easy drive,
you
though.
just don't hear that many people driving from like Texas to New York, or do people? I just don't ever. I guess they do.
Chime in. What's the furthest y'all have ever driven? And you know, that was like I said,
2
25
hours.
You really drove 2 hours?
Have I ever driven 2 hours? Yes, I have.
Only from home to
like-
college.
A&M.
A&M to Longview.
That's it.
Are we just saying like straight through driven, or just the longest road trip you've taken?
Either one.
Well, that was how long. I mean, maybe stop to the bathroom or whatever, but
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, or gas or something
Well,
like
I
that.
think-
But what's the question? Like, how?
So,
what's
yeah.
the furthest you've driven in one?
Yeah, I guess one trip.
Like without stopping at all?
No, because
But
you
like
had
a
to stop
trip.
because I
Okay,
had
a
to
road
stop to
trip,
get
Matt.
gas, you know. So
Yeah.
I told you, Matt, that coming back, I literally loaded up, packed up, loaded, had everything packed, and had to repack a little bit even. But I left New York at 5:30 on Sunday,
Okay, they're
and I got
chiming in.
back here at 10:30 a.m. on Tuesday.
So
Yeah.
Kelly, is
But
that?
my only stop was I stopped and slept that Sunday night, Monday morning,
Okay.
whatever you want to call it, for about 3 hours. And I stopped and had dinner with my friend in Nashville, and I stopped and I had
need
to
to know all
sleep.
this.
And then I
Thank
had to
you.
stop and sleep.
This is a long story now about Virginia, and that is how long it was, and that's why I don't go on the road trips because I get bored. Kelly, Michigan, from Texas.
how many hours
Kelly,
is that?
And then somebody said Houston.
Houston,
But that's-
Houston to Orlando.
That's Sally. Houston to
Houston.
So
Orlando.
I've not made that specific trip, but I've made Dallas to or not Dallas to Orlando. It was actually Springtown to Orlando, which is an hour and a half farther west of Dallas. So that was, and I did that straight through. So that was 20-ish hours or something like that.
Without stopping, or just stopping for the bathroom,
Yeah.
bathroom gas and food.
Yeah, that kind of thing. But yeah, not stopping to sleep. It was we left out. It was me and a friend, so I did have somebody with me. But we left at midnight. We did stop in Vicksburg because we got there around
That's
like
a good place to stop.
7 in the morning, and the battlefield was open, so we drove through
That's
that.
cool. That's
Yeah.
cool.
Like right first thing, and then visited some of his family in Mobile, and then we didn't stop to sleep at all. We just went
Yeah.
through. And then the other direction, I've gone Springtown to Las Vegas, which is about the same distance, about 20 hours or so.
Yeah.
So I think, well,
I've gone but I was always like with the kids and everything.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
went to like
well, you did go with me,
Florida.
but you slept in the back seat.
No,
We went to
when I went with
Tucson
you. Okay, Tucson. Did I do that?
one time.
Crazy. San Angelo, Texas to Columbia, South Carolina.
That's a
Bathroom and
long
gas
trip.
rates only.
That's a long trip.
Leslie, I could,
Yeah.
It's long. Well, I'll tell you, I don't like it. Don't want to do it. And Roger falls asleep. So
I do
we
not
did drive
fall
that time. I swear to God, I couldn't even fall asleep because I was so afraid you were going to fall asleep.
I didn't fall
Now
asleep.
with the kids, we stick them in the back.
Give 'em
Suburbans.
Dramamine.
Back then, everybody has Suburban, and you drive to Florida. And it's okay because anticipation of getting there, it's the going home that sucks.
Yeah.
I am
Yeah.
not. You finally talked to me into like, okay, if we're gonna drive, I don't like to even drive to San Antonio, frozen again. I don't even like it.
See if I can fix that
Yeah,
again.
but
No,
if
it's
you're going
just
to drive
too
to San
far.
Antonio, you can't fly there faster than you can drive there.
Yeah, it's just miserable though on 35 or whatever.
Don't
that
you
road
remember the
is,
time
30?
you tried to fly back from Houston and I drove back from Houston and I was here before you?
Yeah, but my life was much easier. I'm telling you. Yeah, so that's
And
our.
you can't
this
make
is-
those stops at the check stop and all those places.
How many times on the way and on the way back did you go to what's that, Buc-ee's?
Well, I stopped at Buc-ee's, the one that's outside of Rockwall. And honestly, I stopped there and I did because it was raining. I got something to eat because I hadn't eaten anything all day. So I got something to eat, something to drink. And I was able to sit there and do a little bit of work. and I was hoping the rain would stop, but obviously it did not. And then I stopped at the next Buc-ee's. I stopped at Sevierville, Tennessee, Kodak, Tennessee, actually.
Is Kodak, Tennessee?
It's the Smoky
That's
Mountains.
Eastman.
Yeah.
My dad
yeah.
almost got transferred there when I was little.
So
Yeah,
that's
for Eastman Kodak.
that's your East Tennessee. That's technically the largest Buc-ee's in the whole U.S. as of right now. Although they are building one larger than that one.
We've talked about that.
Yeah.
Luke's on. Roger says Bobby
yeah.
and I, Seattle to McKinney.
Yep,
Took
that's
about
right.
3 days during November, sleeping in our cars at truck stops, freezing cold.
Yep.
Man.
Yeah, Bobby's a good one to talk to because Bobby can talk in 2 hours nonstop. So I did call and talk to him, and he's like, he rambles on for like a couple hours, so it's a
He's
distraction.
interesting though, but he's interesting.
Yeah, he is.
He's interesting.
So I was able to get a hold of him, and actually I talked to him right after because I stopped at the in South Pittsburgh, Tennessee. They have the Lodge Cast Iron place, and I remember going when I lived in East Tennessee. I'd go by there and buy stuff. I mean, that whole building was probably like 2,000 square feet where they did all this stuff. Now it's like probably 10,000 square feet. They've grown such, so large, and
I just
you
don't
can find
like
that
it.
stuff.
So my parents drove everywhere. We didn't
Yeah.
fly anywhere. There was not one trip we flew with my mom. Now they fly, or they did, to Germany and everywhere. But apparently
Well, you
my
can't
mom
drive
was
to
scared.
Germany.
No, but my mom, I'm talking anywhere. We went, and we had road trips. On every road trip, we'd get a flat tire because my dad's he's not dumb. He does not buy new cars, and he keeps cars forever because, they're not worth anything. And so the car, I'm telling you, every trip,
Yeah.
every trip there was, and then my brother, we would we'd have the line down the middle of the car seat in the back seat because
Probably had to
it's
tape a
all-
line.
Yeah.
So you could not cross that line, or you get the iron
You
claw on
know good and well Michelle was always poking that line.
I just I literally threw my shoes out every single time. And I think, so by the way, we are now addicted to Buc-ee's Nuggets because Roger brought, and we're supposed to send some other people some Buc-ee's Nuggets. So
Beaver nuggets.
Beaver
Let's-
nuggets.
Let's
Yeah.
get this. I mean,
Beaver Nuggets from Buc-ee's, right?
Yes.
That's right.
And I actually ate a few of those at Reader Studio, and I was like, you can't stop. I was like,
I did
ashamed
pretty
of
good.
myself.
Well, let's see, what did I? Oh, you know what I got? They're like kind of like oyster crackers, little crackers. But they're Cajun style from Buc-ee's. I haven't even opened them yet. I
So-
thought that would make it like a great little snack on the road.
Oh, those sound good. I really like where they make the saltines with all the seasoning
Yeah.
on them.
Yep.
So it sounds like the same kind of thing, but
Yeah, it
with,
is.
with the
This
oyster
is
crackers.
the same thing, just the small
Yeah.
ones.
Oh, that sounds
I
pretty
thought
good.
those would be great for eating, snacking on the
Yeah.
road.
I need to drive out to-
I
I
never
need to
did
drive up
open
to
them
Buc-ee's.
though.
We were near Buc-ee's today. All right.
Yeah.
So
Michelle's
we were
like, let's
asking,
go and let's get a barbecue sandwich, and we never did.
Oh
go.
yeah, there's one up there by the
Their
lake.
food's
Yeah.
pretty decent.
It's good.
I have to say, it's just that, and the bathrooms are nice. It's just
That's
that
the
there's
key.
so much crap in there that you want to buy that you don't need.
I bought something while I was in there.
The food's
You
good,
want to
though.
guess what I bought, Matt?
What's
While I
that?
was in Tennessee.
Wow, look at that.
That's not it. That's not all. He went. It's like he went to the souvenir store.
Tennessee. Big T.
You had 2 or 3 T-shirts, a cap.
Oh wait, I got those at Walmart.
All right.
We're in East Tennessee. You can get the Tennessee stuff at Walmart, and it's like $15 versus the $40 it is here.
Yeah.
See, Angela says, when I was a kid, family drove to South Carolina in station wagon with back seat laid down for my grandmother's bad back. All adults smoking and windows down in summer. Man, that would be memorable, Angela.
Oh, my parents had that. What was that? Ford Gran Torino. Is that what it was? That back in the day, the Gran Torino car.
Yeah.
I'd lay in the back.
big one?
They had that wedged window in the back. I'd lay in that back window back there. I'd be like stretched out in that window.
Oh,
And
yeah,
They would leave Tennessee and drive out to Texas. I remember coming to Texas one time to College Station.
Whoop!
And we
Gig 'em.
drove, and I laid up there in that window the entire time. Except when the tractor trailers come by, you had to get them to
Yeah, of
honk the
course.
horn.
Yeah, when we would drive to Virginia when I was a kid, we had a Suburban, so I had the entire back seat, not back seat area, but like the back area, where there were no
Yeah.
seats, and it was just like the bed of a truck almost. and I was just loose back there. Heaven forbid we ever got into a wreck or anything.
Right?
I don't know what would have happened, but
We would hang out the window and
Yeah.
get the tractor trailers to honk the horns, hanging out the window,
Yeah.
going down the interstate.
It
but that was fun.
Nobody cared.
Yeah, that made that road trip tolerable to me as a kid, which I had nothing else. Today, yeah, you could have watched something on your
Oh yeah, or you can
phone
watch it
or
on the
whatever.
back of the
Yeah.
other seat in front of you or something.
But
I
yeah,
don't
back
know,
then
but
it was
play your games. They all those kids have that stuff. I don't know.
TikTok.
So and then no, but all
TikTok, hours go by
all
watching TikToks.
All I got would be the I see you back there with the rearview mirror. Did your dad do that? I see you kids back there.
I don't remember.
Be
No,
like,
they didn't give us.
Nah,
no.
you don't see us, and no air conditioning. And
Uh-huh.
I'd take my mother.
Pretty sure we had
here's
AC.
Here's the last story. So my mother would Dramamine us up. So Dramamine, Dimetap was probably outlawed because
How
of
about
me,
bourbon?
because I gave so much of that to my kids just to knock them out
give
on
you
trips.
bourbon.
But she'd give us Dramamine because, honest to God, we'd throw up every trip because it was so daggum hot on those trips. So no, I do not.
Yeah, the heat would actually.
But
get to
now
me.
you're kind of wanting a road trip, right? All right, and here's what I want, y'all. I want one of those Woody station wagons. I do. I want one.
How about a Hearst?
I'll do that. But
We have a customer. Lizzie will correct me. I'm thinking he lives in South Carolina, North Carolina, and he comes every 2 weeks. But he bought a Hearst here and took it back, drove it back.
wow.
Wow.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
that camera just
this
sucks.
This
camera
camera has
Sorry,
built the
this was
dust.
the- this was the
y'all.
backup
And it's
camera.
always the freeze frame of me going, well. Okay, so what we're going to do is we said we're going to answer questions.
Yeah.
And we have some, so y'all ask them, and we have answers, I'm sure. And
Or at least we'll make up one.
Oh my
and
gosh.
so here we go. So here's one for you, Roger. We were going to time each other, but I didn't bring the timer in here because he said, nah, let's not. But since we've talked about traveling for half the show, are the things we do at SoulTopia, like tarot cards, let's just change right into this. Some of the most common questions we get, okay?
Yes.
This one people don't ask right off the bat, but they wonder it a little bit sometimes. They want
Curious
to
about
know, are the things evil? And I will tell you, it's interesting. In my classes, I would have people using cards and everything, but the one thing, can y'all guess, that they thought was evil and that they were scared of was what? Do y'all know?
The tarot cards.
No.
The tarot cards.
No, not the tarot cards. Anybody else? Anybody listening? They'd use pendulums, they'd use tarot cards, but there were inevitably
Essential oils.
inevitably there's one item that they were scared of. What was it? And now that this movie's coming
Your
out,
class.
they think it's going to be tarot cards, but that movie's supposed to be horrible. Now, one thing. What is it?
I don't know.
Anybody? Oh, Leslie already got it. Ouija board.
Oh, the Ouija board.
I'm telling you,
Okay.
you got it, Leslie. It's the weirdest thing. And that, to me, I'll just answer that question. That, to me, has to do with a thought form. So Ouija board was not this bad thing. It's not a bad thing, but it has now gotten a thought form around it. Thought forms are real, that it is a certain way. And enough people believe something, put energy into it or whatever, maybe it could be evil. But it's a game.
So remember that?
You know?
Remember that
Warner Brothers,
we
right,
were
or-
at that event out
Wherever
in
they
East
were.
Texas. Out in East Texas at what's the city? We were out there with Dumbass Dakota.
He's not dumbass. Don't say that.
Dumbass Dakota.
We love Coda.
But anyway, you were speaking.
Jefferson.
Yeah, Jefferson. That was
Yeah.
it. And there was a lot of paranormal people there because
Right.
that was a paranormal show.
Yeah.
And so I had the pendulums there, and of course we had the, buff, paranormal hunter, ghost hunter, guy. What is this? I don't understand how this works. The pendulum. Mm-hmm. And I was showing him all. And then I finally said, well, it's kind of like a Ouija board.
It freaked him out.
It freaked him out. He threw it at me and ran back to his table and never left his table again.
They think it's a portal. Okay, so
Yeah.
let me answer that. Everything's a portal. Are there portals? Like somebody was writing about this the other day. There was a portal in my closet, and I don't know how to shut it. And I'm like, don't go in the closet. I mean, God, seriously. So everything's a portal. I think everything can be a
Yeah.
portal. We're portals. It depends on the energy you're putting with it. So I'm going to be boring because it all comes down to energy. But that's another question we get. How do pendulums work? 1 minute.
1 minute. They work off the energy flow that comes from your higher self or our higher being that flows through you, through your hand, down to the point of the pendulum, and it allows it to move. and gives answers of what questions you're asking.
Do they work?
Yes, they do.
The next question most people ask is, eventually they will ask this question, can't your higher self control it?
Yes, it can.
Okay, so then does it work?
You had to remove yourself from the question and ask for the best outcome for that question.
That's why I like to
Not
do kind of
allow it.
blind.
Yeah.
Like, you write 3 answers on index cards,
Yeah.
you shuffle them around, and then you see the pull of the pendulum, which direction it goes. A lot of people also say that, like, elementals will interfere with your, like fairies and stuff will interfere
Yeah,
with pendulums, and they like to do that.
So
yeah.
at a show not too long ago, there was a lady that was using one of our pendulums to pick what jewelry pieces she wanted. But my issue I had with it, not that she was using our stuff to do her reading, right?
Right.
But she was swinging it. She wasn't allowing it to stand still and just do its own thing of moving itself.
Yeah.
She was doing it, swinging it around. I'm like, what the hell are you doing?
And she wanted it to seem like she was doing that.
You're like, it was not like like a small. It was like this, like.
She's
So what the hell?
throwing it
Are
around.
Are you like going to try? Is it like a weapon to you? You're going to like knock somebody
It
out
always
with
does
it?
kind of make me laugh a little bit when somebody will make a big show out of using a pendulum. They'll go over, and then the other thing they'll do with pendulums, they'll be like, well, if it doesn't move, they'll say this pendulum doesn't want to work with me. So you should pick up a pendulum, ask the pendulum if it wants to work with you. I've always thought that was stupid. Sorry, I'm just being honest. I think it's silly because, I mean, it's not moving. Okay, you just haven't worked with it enough. You need to probably clear it. So they'll be like, there's one lady in particular. I'm just saying I don't agree with it. And she's like, no, I'm not supposed to. This one doesn't want to work with me. I'm like, okay, no, you just don't know how to use it.
We did part of that. Not the last one, the class before that I did. Part of that was a pendulum class.
Well, I still think you should do a pendulum making class. You have not done that, or whatever.
I haven't done that in a
And
while.
That
Yes,
pendulum
true.
you had that you misplaced. And yes, fairies will
probably.
take your stuff. Okay, ask one of the questions for me.
All right.
Oh, wait, here we go. You want to read Angela?
Oh,
Just read it.
my grandmother always told me that you have to be born into gifts, and if you messed around with magic, you could cause trouble. Voodoo was the only for
Was only
certain people, and never mess with it.
Oh, can I answer? Can I
Sure.
respond? Okay.
Yes.
So that's a question we get to, and I'll break it down. So I just finished writing my book. Yay! It's turned in.
Yes.
Yay! And but I went back and forth, and I'm not disputing your grandmother, Angela, but I think that everyone is born with some level of knowingness. Okay, so it's on the psychic spectrum, I call it. And I think you should find out where you are on it. And I do believe you can develop the gifts. Now, who worked with me? She did hoodoo, and she taught me hoodoo, and she totally didn't think, and we're going to get into appropriation areas here. I will tell you, some people will ask, are there certain things that you should not use because maybe it's not from your culture. That was a big thing, and it still is. It could get me canceled saying this, but I will just tell you this. I don't think that we need to tell people what they can work with and what they can't work with. If a deity like an Orisha from the Yorubas, Oya, which I have her bracelet over here, if she wants to work with me, she can. So I don't think anybody needs to gatekeep for anybody else, because if the deities are that strong, why can't they gatekeep for themselves? Okay, so that I'll answer that. As far as I was the reason Annie raised me, so she taught me a lot. I didn't know till maybe 10 years ago that what she was teaching me was just hoodoo. I mean, that's what she was teaching me, and so I don't agree totally with your grandmother on that, but I do think people go back and forth. Is it a gift or is it not? I spend a whole chapter in my new book where you decide what you believe on that instead of about that. So what do you think about that?
I agree with that because, our friend Claudia, if you think about it, she, coming from Mexico, she's very versed within the Mexican magic part, right? But if you really look at some of the things that she does and some of the things that I do, it's the exact same thing. It's the same exact thing, just different names for it. But and that's what happens a lot of times is, there's been a lot of, magic shared from maybe this culture to this culture and back and forth. And then, so when you have that, you're going to have some of the same,
Yeah,
same,
I think
so practices.
And that big thing of appropriation, we had a reader in here one time tell somebody, you can't work with that. They picked up an Orisha statue, and they said, and it was in Frisco, and the reader, she's no longer here, but she took upon herself to walk out into the store, I've told this story before, and tell the person, well, how did she know? I mean, how did she know who he might be buying it for, who he works for? So I think, people are going to believe different things. I still don't know where I land on that. Is everybody psychic? I think we all are born with instinct, and how far that goes depends on how much we work with it. I don't think that it's always just there's somebody special, so it's a gift.
Yeah.
But who cares? I mean, it is what it is. And do I think you can develop it? I know you can, because I've watched people do it that I teach in class. I know. And it's sometimes the people who they haven't been born into it. I think it's very egotistical to be like, okay, I was born into this many lines of witches or this many lines of, shamans or whatever. That's great, but don't act like other people can't learn it either. So that's what I think. And I just don't think it's our job to tell everybody what they can do and not do. I think it's each person's individual journey. That's what I think. Yeah. And it has been a big deal. I wouldn't have ever known it if I didn't own a store, that people will just get so hung up. And it's usually not the people who practice those things. It's somebody else deciding to be the gatekeeper for them. Okay, so Roger, do you ever get this question? I think I have a curse on me. And what do you think about it?
Yes, people come in, they ask that. And they'll also ask, or they'll come in and say, I have a curse on me too. I need your help to get the curse off of me. So, and there are places you can go, even here in Dallas, they're going to charge you a lot of money to get a curse off. I mean, we've heard the horror stories. We've been to events where people had said, oh yeah, I can get that off for you. I need $5,000.
That's fraud.
Fraud, 100%, right?
But what if they say $100?
Even if they say $100, yeah, that's still kind of ridiculous. But if you really truly believe you have a curse on you, it's your mindset, your belief into that. So what we will do here at SoulTopia is we will actually set you up with the tools to help remove a curse from you. Some of the easiest ways is actually some candle magic. And basically all you're doing is you're buying the tools, the candles and the oils and the herbs to put together for yourself to remove that curse.
I think that for me, the biggest thing, and a lot of these things we've done shows on, we're just trying to go through them really fast and hit them, so we're not going to cover everything. Obviously, you can go back and watch other shows. But I think the biggest thing is different cultures believe different things. And some cultures very much believe, and they believe that there are a lot of curses. And so I don't want to ever make fun of someone who goes straight to, I have a curse put on me.
Yeah.
I wrote The Magic of Connection, my first book, to talk about, really, it's not so much that, it's the energy of what we're bringing to something. So everything has energy, it never goes away. What do you do with it? And so again, each person should handle it differently and find out their path with that. So I think it's a good question. We don't ever want to make fun of somebody for believing it, but we also don't want them to get taken advantage of. And that is an area that I'm real big in, is, there are spellcasters and people who remove spells, and they do it for a living, and I believe it's legitimate. I just don't think that's all legitimate. So the neon sign thing, somebody posted about that today. I think it was Ethany. What's the difference between us and neon signs? I like neon signs. I think they're cool, like in a game room or something. I mean, just because that's just the connotation of there's something fraudulent with that. I don't think that's necessarily true. And so it just, for everything, you just have to qualify it's a case-by-case basis and not make fun of who's coming and asking a question. The question for me is what you're going to do once you answer. Maybe show them or allow them the room to think that maybe that energy is theirs. maybe they need to shift some energy of their own because they keep having bad luck and they think they must have a curse on them, but not make fun of their culture because a lot of people do believe it.
That's right.
Right?
That's
Okay,
right.
so well, one of the biggest questions we get is what's the best thing that we have in the store for protection? So we're talking about items. We're not talking about bubbles of protection or things you do yourself, but like items that we have that people can get for protection. And I would just do it broadly, just any kind of protection. What would you say?
You know, crystals, bracelets are great. I mean, because we do those you can wear daily with you. I had mine on earlier. I've been wearing them a lot. You know, I wear them a lot, pretty much all the time myself. Just being at the lake, I took them off. But, you know, bracelets are the easiest thing that we actually have because if you think about it, we have shungite, we have a lot of different ones actually that, you know, can work for protection.
Right.
And so those are the easiest things.
I would say some other things are just really quickly. If the biggest thing I ask when somebody says that, I'll say, what's your jam? I mean, what do you like? Do you like essential oils? Do you like crystals? Can you burn things? And do you like incense? Do you like to sage? Do you like jewelry? And if they don't know, then I can show them several things. But in general, what's your category? Because in every category, there's something for protection.
There is, right.
So I think your sprays are great. I will never stop bragging about Roger's sprays because of the Florida water, for one, because of that whole story we've told a million times. He's won awards for the fact when years ago he noticed that people were using and bathing and sweeping their floors with, and we had a friend in particular that was bathing in that the little skinny jars, we've said this a million times, of Florida water. Y'all do not get that. It has denatured alcohol, carcinogen. And so Roger came up with Florida water.
Dyes.
And then your Dragon's Blood Sage is the best smelling anything. And a lot of people forget, we've talked about this, all of this, but you know, for protection for their cars. I think you can always use that spray water. And if you come into the store, you fill it with crystal water that's been out in the moon or eclipse. You did eclipse water.
Yep.
Different waters for different things, and they have different crystals in them. So you can do put a rose quartz or water or black tourmaline water, or whatever, citrine if you want, you know, abundance and you want vitality. So you fill it with different water. So your sprays, I think, are the best. It's more than a minute. But what about for good fortune? Gambling. What's the best thing?
Oh, so obviously you can carry some kind of good luck crystals like the citrines, pyrites, green aventurines.
Green aventurines, known as the gambler's crystal.
We do have bracelets for it.
I do?
You know, with a Banchia bracelet. John the Conqueror oil I make. I need to make some right now, but we do have that. And we even have essential oils for gambling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
those are actually some of the things that we have that are really good for it. You know, and the use, you know, like the oils are cool because you just kind of put them on your hands. You just put them on your hands, where the crystals you would carry in your pocket, but the oils are cool because you're gambling, right?
Right.
Playing cards or playing the slot machines. Rub it in your hands.
yeah, and you blew that cinnamon everywhere on that one show.
Yep.
Okay, so Angela says, should you be afraid to try and curse someone? What about karma? Well, first of all, you have to believe in karma, and not everyone does. We have a friend, good friend. She is with Grey Witches. They don't believe in karma. They don't believe in the rule of three or the reed or whatever. They don't believe in any of that stuff. So it depends on what you believe. Do you believe there are consequences for your actions? So should you be afraid to try and curse someone? I think it would depend, and we're not going to do a whole show on it, the definition of a curse. If you're intending ill on somebody, personally, I think there's going to be consequences for that. Sometimes I don't care. I'm just going to be honest. That's why I'm probably don't claim to be a witch. I work with energy, and I have to be careful because I have a temper. If somebody really makes me mad, I'm not sure I'd be completely ethical with the use of some of the stuff Roger does. So I leave it to him. Should you be afraid? Can somebody get back at you? If you believe it works for you, then it would work for them. And then it depends on what you believe about karma. Most people just easily say, and they accept that there's karma and that, you know, there's going to be, and whatever you put out good, it's going to come back to you so many times. And whatever you put out bad, it's going to come back to you so many times. It's really what you, seriously, I'm going to say this. Do you have to believe it for it to be true? I don't think so. I think people can put stuff on you, and it doesn't matter if you believe it or not.
Right.
I know that. I know for a fact that has happened. And I used to think, well, if I just don't think anybody can hurt me. There's just nobody who can. I thought, yeah, just try. Well, don't ever say that. Don't ever say bring it, right? But you practice it, Roger. Should you be afraid of it?
I think you got to be smart about it. I don't think you should just go crazy like, oh, they cut me off, I'm going to curse them. Kind of be a little bit more conservative with it a little bit. You don't want to just go around just cursing people just for the fun of it. I mean, there really needs to be a true reason behind it. Not because they cut you off.
Because if you look at that meme, there's a meme that has the golden rule, which is karma. Basically, doing to others as they'd have. Every single belief system, no matter how even the bad cult ones have something like that. But the gray witches, they do not believe in karma. So it just depends on what, am I afraid to do somebody who's really, really hurt me? I'm going to be really honest. No, I just don't want to go to jail. I would not do well in jail. I don't think. I just don't think I'd like it.
She'd probably be running the place.
I don't think I'd like it. So sometimes I'm being really honest. I'm being really, really honest. If I'm mad enough, that's why I can't, back to the grandmother, I can't toy with things because it will work. And so I think you have to be careful. You have to know yourself and know, if you are going to be honest if you really, really get upset with somebody, what are you going to do?
Yep.
And should you be afraid? Yeah, I think you should. A little bit. Okay.
Here you go. I got one.
Okay. You got
All right. So are crystals bigger, better?
Oh, okay.
Is a larger crystal better than a small crystal?
So it depends on what you're using it for. Okay. That's
really?
What matters.
What are you using it for?
No, don't set it up. So it does depend on what you're using it for. If you were trying to, in a hospital, the lobby, that'd be a great place for like a soothing rose quartz, right? Something really healing, soothing, a green aventurine, something just very calming. And so you'd want it bigger because the auric field, proven by Kirlian photography, will go out further if it's bigger.
Yep.
But here you go. You can hold it. Here, I'll put it.
You wanted them over here,
Okay.
so I got
well,
for you.
I just
the little
decided
one's right next to it.
we have these.
So Michelle wanted to show y'all
I'll
the
show
difference
y'all.
between a small one and
So you can describe
small
what I'm
crystals and large crystals with crystal penises.
So there they
Penises.
are. Is bigger better? What do y'all think? I don't know. Depends on what you're using it for. That's my answer. For all crystals. And yes, people do buy these. So why do they buy phallic crystals? Roger, what's the purpose? Besides they're funny.
Well, they're funny, yes. But
Is
you
that
can
what
also
else?
do, there's certain magic
little guy.
spells you can also use with those, like fertility and different things too.
I think it's funny. Is it angelite?
No, blue quartz.
It's blue quartz. I was going to say that's pretty funny if it's angelite
Blue quartz.
on that one. But these sell like crazy. They're hard to find. The little bitty
I found 2 bags of them,
penises.
of the quartz ones.
No, but like when we go
Yeah,
to...
they are hard to
They
find.
are hard to find.
Yeah.
So is bigger better? Honestly, it depends on what you're using it for as far as crystals. The other question we get
Bigger's
about...
always better.
Okay. So I'll say honestly to that, sometimes the tiniest of crystals are the most expensive but they're very, very, very powerful. And so it just depends. So because you come and you buy, it's just like people buying houses.
Mm-hmm.
If they don't know a lot about a house, they buy this big old nasty house that's, horribly built, is on a horrible foundation, but they just want to say they have the biggest house.
Yeah.
Or you get a really quality house and it's the same thing with crystals or anything you buy, right? But as far as the auric field that it projects into, it does make a difference. Yeah. And then you want to go into shapes, like clusters, point, spheres, or even, right?
Spheres are awesome because they go everywhere.
And so, let's see. I wouldn't make it in prison either. And so, Sally says, yes, they do. Sex magic. Yeah. And so people buy them all the time. It's funny because they buy the smaller ones.
Yep.
So if bigger's better, why aren't they buying the bigger ones?
We sold a few big ones.
Do we?
Yeah, a few.
How much is this guy?
I don't know.
It's heavy. What is this? Is that
It's
obsidian?
Obsidian. $285.
That's actually not expensive for $285 for that. Because that thing is, stop. That thing is like, what are you doing?
It's heavy.
Okay.
See how heavy it is?
Here's the next question. Okay, Michelle, can you read minds? Okay, sort of. Sort of. It's not what I claim to be able to do, but when Roger and I practiced it, some of the books, the things that are in my book, I think it's in chapter 3, when you get to the clairs, you practice. So we would practice reading and each other's what's coming. So it's sort of psi testing with the Zertner cards or things like that. But can I actually get in someone's mind? I think it's more I'm reading their energy. I think is the answer to that question.
Yeah, I'd say that.
I've been tested, and I can get answers to things pretty easily, and there's testing for that. 2 different times I've been tested, and it's much higher than normal. But I don't know if I'd call it reading minds.
I think it's you're reading the energy.
Yeah. So, I mean, we're all one. We're all connected. So it would be crazy to say I can always read somebody's mind because I can't. But when it comes up, Angela, to be really serious, a lot is in mediumship readings and I think it comes up sometimes in not a good way. So, and I want people to tell their clients, we've talked about this before, and this is in the book too. I think mediumship is basically the same thing as being psychic. It's just the expectation of and who the frequency you're talking to. So you're talking to something or someone that has passed versus is in this realm with us right now. So there's all kinds of that around. There's always other beings around. So it's not surprising for me at all to talk to them. But where was I going? Oh, it matters because sometimes you're doing a mediumship reading, and I have to be honest. I'll be like, I'm picking up on what they want to know, not really that I'm getting in touch with their loved one. And I don't think that is, you have to be honest with your client and say, I think I'm just telling you what you want to know. And am I reading minds? It's, I'm just picking up on that, but I'm not communicating with their loved one. And I think that if somebody tells you they are, or tell you, they're telling me, and who are they? I hate it when people do that. That bugs me. They. Who's they? Tell them who they are. So if I'm picking up on, that's the time I think it can be a little bit, it feels like you're reading someone's mind, but you just sort of can tell what they want. And so there's some of that of just reading people, which I don't like to do. I mean, I'd rather not look at somebody. I'd like to have if you get readings from me, that I take the, if somebody has a choice, I'll say, give me choice A, B, C, and don't tell me what they are. I'd rather not know. Mary doesn't tell me who my clients are before I see them. And I'll get on Zoom and I'll be shocked some of the people I'm reading for that people would know. And so that's a long answer to the question. But I think everybody can to a certain extent. But am I getting in their mind? I don't know. It's energy.
Yeah.
I'm just always going to be boring about it from now on because to me it all goes back to energy. Okay. Hey, Barb Chevalier. So I think that when I do pick up on things like intention of someone, that's when it drives me crazy. Roger, you know that, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And he'll be like, well, you're manifesting. I'm like, no, I'm telling you, this is what's going on with this person. This is exactly what they're thinking. And it'll come true. And it bugs the crap out of me, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. What's next?
So another question we get a lot in the store is, what are these gold dollars for? I didn't bring any in here. I forgot to get them. But we have gold $100 bills, right?
I'm going to get one. Go, keep talking.
And so people always come in, and do you know where they are?
Yep.
Okay, good. So people are always asking, what are these gold dollars for? Because we actually have them at the checkout counter, just because they're quick grabs. People love them. They're amazing for manifesting money, and people will use them for ancestral money type things. But if you're doing like a money spell from anything from like candle magic to crystal grids or anything like that, these actually work great because they're gold $100 bills. And they are all the way, kind of see that all the way around.
So it's this gold kind of metallic, thick foil kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So why this? I also tell people, I gave Matt one, I gave you one, I gave me one. So if y'all come in and get one, you can get a permanent marker, and you can write what you want on your $100 bill. So you can write success and abundance, or prosperity and abundance is mine, or whatever you want to write. And that's what a lot of people do. And we got them because a friend of mine came back from, I think it was Tennessee. I think it was in Nashville, because that's kind of the go-to place now for like bachelorette parties and everything, right? And they told me, yeah, I put the gold $100 in my wallet when I go to the casino.
That's right.
But they'll go, and they came back from Nashville, and they said those things were selling like crazy. People just up the front were buying them, these things for like $10, and then writing their stuff on them. They're not $10.
No.
How much are they?
I think they're like a couple of bucks.
They're pretty cool. So yeah, I remember Barb Chevalier that was on here a second ago. She taught a class on manifestation, and a lot of it was about money. And she had a printed off in her iPad, I think, or her Kindle or something. She had a big old money, and then she put her intentions with that. Okay, so let's see.
How about this? What is better, tarot cards or oracle cards?
It's a personal preference, or what's the difference?
And the difference.
You know,
So when I talk about it, one of the big differences in tarot cards, it's you have a lot of like positive and negatives, what most people consider positive and negatives anyway, right? So in life is not just all, Pollyanna, nice and positive. Sometimes we do have bad things that happens. And to me, it's easier to read like for somebody with tarot cards because of that. Where oracle cards generally are all positive. I tell people, if you're like, with oracle cards, they're really great too if you want to just pull a card a day to have a great feeling going out of the house. And even a lot of people who maybe are scared of the cards, they'll have oracle cards, especially the angel cards, in their house because they like that positive feeling that comes with it.
because they think tarot cards have something negative associated with them. They don't. Again, there can be any thought form, and anything can be put on anything. If you decide, it's just like a word. If you decide the word chair is a dirty word, all of a sudden everybody's laughing at it because it's a dirty word and you're saying the word chair. And the more people who do it, the more people who, that's what they're going to think, right?
That's
right. I mean, it just doesn't matter what it is. It's what you associate with it. And so people do think that about tarot cards. They think they're evil. So, but the difference is the tarot cards are there's a system. So there's certain cards, there's so many cards, there's so many archetypes of the major cards, and then there's the minor cards and the four suits. And then you get them, and you can use spreads that those cards mean something within the definition of those spreads. Whereas an oracle card is basically like just looking at if you went and looked at the Mona Lisa and you decided based on that you were going to give a reading, and maybe it had a word at the bottom of it that they put like smile ? Or something like that. And so that's what it is. And there's not necessarily a system connected with the oracle cards where there is with tarot, and there are a lot of rules and ways to do it, and suggested ways and rules that you can break too.
Yep.
So that is the difference, and I prefer tarot cards myself. There are oracle cards that sometimes I like they're pretty, but
The artwork.
I really have to, I use them the most for class when people are learning to use their intuition and just look at something and see if they can get a message from it. But you can do it from anything. But I do agree. I do think there are some that if you want to say positive and negative, I don't like those words, but for lack of a better way to explain it, I do think there's some darker oracle cards too. I mean, there's ones that they're not all positive, but they do tend to be
They
more
tend to be, though.
positive. So let's see. What else? Tarot and oracle work well together. I agree with that. Deb Wright says. I agree with that. We often will do that. I do that for my forecast readings. I'll do tarot. I'll use crystal. I love layering all kinds of modalities. It's a really good point, Deb. Let's see. If you're psychic, Matt, you should ask this one. I bet you wonder, if you're psychic, why don't you know everything? What do you think about that?
Well, I mean, I think that's not, to me, and I'm not somebody who would consider myself incredibly psychic, empathetic perhaps, but, I think a lot of people can be that. But I just don't think that's how it works, right? I mean, I feel like that's probably the best way to put it.
Yeah.
It's not that way. You're not like foreseeing the future exactly how it's going to happen as if you're in a movie or something.
Right. I agree. And I think that we get all those jokes, okay? And it's so funny. I usually get them on the sports stations, Matt. That's where you get them, you know. Oh, well, why didn't you know you were going to run out of gas? What are you doing at the gas store? Didn't you know why aren't you winning the lottery if you know everything? Or if you can read minds, Michelle, which I'm going to regret what I said on that one later because it depends. I mean, I don't know if I'm reading minds or I'm just getting information from the collective on somebody. But it is a valid question. Like, okay, so why sometimes can you get information and sometimes can't you? I wrote about it in this last book because I asked everything that I had just accepted as true. And that's why I wanted to ask questions tonight, and answer them. Because why can't you? Why can somebody get, this is going to happen, and somebody else can't? And Roger said, what'd you say about the energy?
Well, it's the energy. So because like the lottery, everybody wants to win the lottery, so everybody's hoping to win the lottery, and they're putting it out there, and it's so much energy that each person wants to win the lottery. There's just too much of it out there.
Scattered.
And it's scattered out.
It's scattered. And when those public defenders that I worked with at the DA's office put their scattered energy together and bought lottery tickets, guess what they did? They won. So your odds are better, and because there's more intention going into it, and not everything's intention. That takes you in a whole other thing. Can you just sit in your couch and just intend everything? No, you have to set the energy in motion. But I think what I kind of came to is I do think that some people are definitely more psychic than other people. That's a fact. That I do know. And is it because they're better or more gifted? It's because I think they practice it more and they have more experience. That is where I have landed. I don't know that it even needs to be called a gift, but to me it's a curse most of the time. Yeah. But I would say, do I know of course I don't know everything. I actually had somebody I was reading for. I can't. This is all I can say. That said they were 90% correct. And I looked at them, and it's when I read. I said we'll deal with that after the reading. So after the reading, I said, who told you that? How do you know that? How do you get those statistics to claim that you're 90? I would never claim that I'm 90% correct. Okay, 40% is a good psychic. 40%, y'all. The latest studies, and so it might be edging up to 50. But it is not 90. And so I would just say the reason we don't is we are not supposed to know everything. There are mysteries. People used to go to oracles. They went to the Sphinx, or they'd go to a shaman. Would they know everything? No. They didn't even spell it out for you. You'd get this riddle, and I always go back to this riddle that you're supposed to figure out. They wouldn't tell you everything, and it'd be cryptic. Even Nostradamus, some of it's true, some of it's not, but it's cryptic. So we are not supposed to know everything. We can get in the Akashic records. All of us can, because we created them. That's why these people who do these Akashic readings and charge so much money, and I've got to be careful because I have friends doing them right now. Y'all all can read the Akashic records. You all open. What is that? It's the knowledge of everything and everyone. And it's recorded for all time and space. And it's called the Akasha records. And I believe that everyone can open those. Everyone. Because we're all one and we all created them. And I think I am the only person that I know of in any book that's ever said that. Because everybody says that you have to have say a certain prayer, you have to know a legal name. That's not smart. if it's for everything and I want to communicate with a tree that's 1,000 years old, then that's silly to say that I have to know its legal name. That's just, no. And you have to be certain years old to open their records, and you've got to close, it could be very bad if you don't close the Akashic records. It's all silly. It's all just made up bunk, in my opinion, and a lot of people spend a lot of money getting these certifications from people, thousands of dollars, when I can teach you at Intuitive Insights in one night how to open the Akashic records.
And instead of thousands of dollars, it's $950.
Yeah, for one night. Yeah, no, it's not, because
it's one little class.
it's just silly for people to think they're better than other people. I don't think I'm better. I just think that I'm more in tune because it's what I do for a living.
You have a good way of teaching it to kind of so people can relate and understand it versus it trying to make it overcomplicated.
Everything, they make it so overcomplicated. I mean, it's just like, and then they. And I don't even know if I believe in everything about, reincarnation that people say. So I put that in the book. What do you believe about that? Half of these answers, it's what do you believe in? And then you're putting a lot of it through your own experiential filters. It's what makes you a really bad reader if you do that, because it's not your filter you should be putting it through. And so let's see. I have lights that turn. They're talking about, have y'all had anything interesting? Why haven't all the psychics won all the lotteries? Okay, so we answered that.
Yeah.
And
Scattered energy.
And it is scattered. And if you put it all together, I think you could. But I don't think we're supposed to. And I don't think psychics get the answers to everything. And there are times that people will come to me and I'll literally send them to somebody else. I did it last week. I said, I do not know, and I am not the person to read for you. You're going to have to go to somebody else.
Yeah.
I can usually know before I meet with them. I can just feel I'm going to this, and especially if they're not willing to open up to you because they're skeptical about it anyway, right?
I always, especially when it's the big lotteries, I always think, you know what? Don't even worry. I'm not even worried if I win. I want one of our really good clients, good friends to win so they can come in and buy big stuff.
Well, what's funny to me, this is not anything psychic, but all the people who are all over social media saying how bad people are that work hard for money. But boy, if they won the lottery, do you think they'd be turning it down? No, they'd be taking them money so fast, but yet they can't stand people who have money.
I'd be working.
Y'all think about
I'd
that.
still work.
There's nothing wrong
I'd
with
still
working
work
hard
just
for
so I could
money.
piss everybody off.
So I'll be canceled again on social media because I'm so sick of people complaining that somebody makes money
Yeah.
when they're working their ass off.
Everybody's doing it.
Yeah, and I
Everybody's
guarantee you that same person, if you said, here's the winning lottery ticket, they would freaking take it.
Yeah,
So I don't believe a word they say. Okay, what's next?
one more thing, then we got to talk about our product of the week.
Okay.
All right, here, you put this on here. So, what is my turning point R numbers?
Oh,
What is my turning point R numbers?
I read that wrong.
I'm-
What is my
rephrase your question there.
yeah? What is a turning point number? So this went in the book, and I found it pretty interesting. So if y'all want to
New book. New book.
my new book, my third book, that's not out yet. But this is. So it's numerology. Y'all ready? So you can Google this. There's a thing. There's different numerology. So your turning point number is where you take your name. Okay, and don't get hung up on which name you need to take. Okay, just whichever the frick name you want to put on there, the name you go by right now. Okay, it doesn't have to be your legal birth certificate name or anything like that. But what is the name that you feel connected to? All right, so Roger Welch, and if I had it with me, I would tell y'all there's a chart. Somebody can Google it right now, and it's I think it's based on Pythagoras. And so it will go 1 to 9, and the letters are done 1 to 9. And I wish I had it and maybe I should just pull it up, but you should have asked this question first because I want y'all to do it. So y'all ready? You look. I don't want y'all to get off, but I am. And it's going to be the numerology chart. We're going to go a little bit over because you asked me. Numerology. Are you ready? Are you ready?
Yes.
So, your turning point number is when you take and you add your name, Roger Welch, and then you see what the R is because when you pull it up, and I'm going to tell you what it is. Time out.
I'm writing it down so I'm assuming I'm adding these up, right?
Yeah, but I got to find the dang thing, Roger, the chart. Hold on a second. And but the turning point number is before you reduce it. So some people will say add in the month, like his birthday month is November. Will you look for the chart for numerology? Letter chart in images, please. And so they'll say you add it in groups. If you will add straight across, like Matt Stoker, and add when I give you the letter, and you add it straight across all your letters, the first number you come up with, it'll be a double digit. That is your turning point year. So in my book, that's it. So y'all ready? Is everybody ready?
Like that.
Okay,
guys. I
we'll
know that's
post
not
it.
gonna
We'll
focus.
post it. So we're gonna have Matt and Roger do it right now.
All right, so here we go. I can do this pretty fast. I think.
So Matt, I'll have to tell Matt because you're not telling us the letters.
So
you do yours.
I'm gonna do mine. So R is 2,
Something in front of me here.
O is 7,
Do you have a?
G.
So
is
before you
3,
reduce that number to get your
E is
destiny number,
5, 2,
that number that you get before you reduce it
6,
and add those two numbers together is your
5,
turning point age. I meant age, not R on here. And so I did Tina Turner, and her turning point age is when she had her first big success, and then she left Ike Turner. So it's really interesting. Your turning point age, Roger. What is it? And I'll give me that, and I'll get that. So you look up this chart. Go to images on numerology.
30, 33, 36,
Numbers for letters.
36,
Look that up, and then do your name. And
41.
So 41, what happened to you at 41? That is your turning point age, Roger. Give me the thing. No, that thing.
Oh.
So I can tell Matt. Tell our listeners what happened to you at 41. Why would that be your turning point?
When I was 41?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait. No, I was gonna say I met you.
You did.
I think I did.
You
right?
did. He met me at 41. Yeah, that's it.
That's what
it
it was.
works. I say, Matt, are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, so Matt, we've got Roger. Okay, you better do it because my eyes.
Okay.
So M?
M is 4.
Okay.
A is 1. T is 4. You got, yeah.
Are you
of
doing
those.
Matt or are you doing Matthew?
I'm just doing. I mean, if it's what I go by, I'm doing.
do Matt. That's what I would do.
Yeah.
So
All right.
the
S is 3. T again is 4. O is 7. K is 2. E is 5. R is 2.
and you add those straight
Just add them
across.
straight across.
Okay.
And usually they'll have you reduce that number. So Roger got 4 and 1, so 4 plus 1 is 5. So his destiny number is 5. Okay, but his turning point age is when he met me at 41.
Yep.
Okay.
So I got 36, which was a long time ago, and I can't. I'd have to go back and actually look to see what
happened?
what that would have been. Let me think about what year that would
Yeah.
have been, and that might help me. So.
He
Yeah.
forgot how old he was now, guys.
No,
Yeah.
Just to be
I've
honest,
actually-
guys, he
I've
totally
actually-
forgot himself.
I've actually had other people say that. It's like, well, what year was that?
Yeah.
And then they could
I
have, they
never
might
know.
not know what
Yeah,
age.
that's
I
they
easier.
never
were.
know.
Yeah.
So I'm 42 now. So 36 would have been, what, 6 years ago?
Yep.
So that was 2018.
Is that right?
Sounds right.
I don't know what that would have been.
You have to think about it.
Yeah, I'll have to really.
Think
I was
about where
hoping
you
it was going to be
worked.
like ahead of me, so then I could have something to look forward to.
And another thing that people talk about is the master number. So just so you know, don't reduce if you get 11, 22, 33, or 44. Do not reduce those. Those have they're usually the qualities of 1, 2, 3, but they're exponential. So like 1 is leader. That's my number. Rogers is 5. So 1 is the leader, and it is. They have positive and negative traits, all of them. But what was I saying? I can't remember. But there's so much numerology is so cool, and but no, if you think back, that turning point really hit me. On the 44 is very rare that it comes out 44. But you don't know who did come out 44? Hillary Duff is 44, and that is like a creative inspiration. I mean, they're like really, and I don't know anything about Hillary Duff, but that is one of the people who has that number 44 that you do, and that would be also, you don't reduce those. So that'd be her turning point number, but it's also a master number, and there's very rare. If anybody comes up with a 44, tell me. I'd like to know. So that's numerology's fun. There's a lot of different ways to do it. People get off arguing about it, but what I say in the book is just pick the system that you like and just stick with it instead of trying to argue all the different ways to do it. But that way, it's just you're adding straight across, and then you can reduce it. Okay, so
Okay.
and that
That's
just
cool.
for angel numbers, people a lot of times ask about the angel numbers. Here's what I think about those. I do think that angels tend to, if you believe in angels, and most of the most populous religions, or even people, they believe in some sort of angel-like being, and the numbers are just ways of like kind of synchronicity of numbers like showing up 111 over and over again and what that means. Now, where I kind of think it's a little bogus is where there's these Kyle Gray, I think, and I don't mean to be ugly, but he kind of took over. Doreen Virtue had these books, and they're angel number books. And so you could go 253 and you open it up. They all start sounding the same. And I'm like, how did they go through like to 1,000 and get, it's like fortune cookies. But I think that if you have numbers that you see over and over and over again, it could be an angel speaking to you, but it could just be synchronicity, according to like Carl Jung. You just see things over and over and you start to see patterns. And we've had a show on that too.
Yep.
And I think we got over
most of it.
everything on this list. Does anybody? Yeah.
So
and
I looked mine up. Path
Hey,
of
Emily. Hi,
experience.
Devin Hunter.
The 5 life path is resourcefulness, discovery, choice, change, freedom, and physical aspects of life.
Yeah, so it's in the book. But for me, the biggest aha for me was, and I looked at a lot of them, was that turning point age. And because I knew Roger when he did his, look forward to hearing. And you don't have to create anything. If there was nothing, it may be later that you look back and you go, whoa, now I can see why that aged. Mine was not good. Okay, it was not but it was a turning point for me. Yours was great.
Yeah.
Because you met
met
me.
you.
No, I'm kidding. But I'm not. I had one more thing I want to talk about. So I'm wearing pink, and a lot of people will come in and they want to know, like, pink stones. Okay, so there are pink crystals, rose quartz being one, morganite, kyanite, kunzite. There's not as much kyanite. Kunzite, which fades, by the way, over time. If it's outside or inside, it doesn't matter. It fades.
Yep.
All right. So purple, green, it's going to fade to clear or like white. But pink, I just wanted to show that we do, the way you get like a really hot pink in a bead is you're going to get what is like would you hold one of these? Actually, was on our Jophiel bracelet. And they're going to be dyed agates is what they're going to be. So to get a really hot pink, but that's one of our most popular bracelets. And
Halfway there, and it froze.
so
I was moving in slow motion
yeah,
towards
we got the camera issues. But the Lady Di bracelet, I think, is really pretty. It's got 3 pearls. They're real pearls. And then the rose quartz. And we've got the Ariel bracelet. But again, hematite. Let's see. This one is, the King and Queen of Cups. We did with rose quartz and what, moonstone?
And opalite.
And opalite.
No, blue lace agate. So it's blue lace agate.
And then this one has, it has some pink on here. And this is the Nikki. And she's a really good friend of ours. And it's one of my favorite bracelets. Nikki Pear. And so it's got pink on there, but you can see some of those are dyed.
Watching tonight,
and
talking about it.
Oya, which is one of my favorites that I talked about earlier, that people try to gatekeep. But if she wants to work with you, she will. Mm-hmm. I don't care what anybody says, and y'all can be mad at me. I don't care. She is capable of protecting herself. She doesn't need y'all to gatekeep for her. Thank you very much, because I do work with her. The Lovers in our Tarot series has that. Red, but it has rose quartz. The only thing kind of close to it, if you're wanting to wear pink, we do have on this one pink opal, and is on this one. This is the Carla, that one. And then if you get purple, the lepidolite, which is for anxiety. That's one of our best sellers because it is the natural source of lithium. So there are pink bracelets though, but to get a really good pink, real pink, That's pretty, right?
Yep.
You're not in the bead quality. It's usually going to be some sort of dyed jade.
Yep.
Or dyed bead, excuse me,
That's right.
agate or halide or something like that. So that was a question that I get all the time is like, what beads are pink? And that's what. And then one more here, and then we'll. This was Soul Lakshmi, and I love this one because it's got citrine, mystic quartz, and rose quartz on it. That's a really good one to wear. So to close, what are our items of the week?
Items of the week is our essential oil here, our essential oil. This incense is actually dipped in essential oil. This is a jasmine scent. These are buy one, get one free of this brand. Okay. We also have is the crystal of the week is the ocean jasper.
It's really pretty.
Those are also buy one, get one
Nice.
free.
Right in the middle is pretty.
Yep. It is.
Yeah.
And then the bracelet of the week is actually the Soul Serenity bracelet, and those are 25% off.
It's all amethyst with a little bit of the little silver plated little bead in the middle. And that's how we do all our soul healing bracelets. So amethyst is really good. It's soul serenity. If you think about the serenity prayer, amethyst means undrunk, so it helps us with any habits that we want to correct or feel like we need to. It also helps with insomnia, headaches. It's also very high ascension stone for protection for your crown chakra and working with your intuition. So, and I love the van. So I've graduated. I wanted a VW bus. Now I want that Woody station wagon. So if anybody finds one of those,
A Hearst.
No, I don't. I want a Woody.
Did you see there was a girl that went to prom this week, and she went to prom in a Hearst, and like when she got to prom, they slid her out the back and opened the coffin, and she rose up out of it.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, sure did.
Was that on TikTok?
It was on TikTok.
Oh, well, at
But-
least she's enjoying life.
Yes. So this Sunday is Mother's Day weekend. So starting tomorrow, we will start our Mother's Day sale.
All these bracelets.
Those bracelets will be on sale tomorrow.
Oh, really?
Starting tomorrow. Yes.
How much?
Yes, we'll tell. So all of our bracelets, plus there'll be some other stuff too, but it's going to be mostly jewelry. But the bracelets, I was thinking we could do 50% off.
Jeez. Okay.
Is that okay with you?
I don't know. You're the boss.
Is that okay if we do that? I know she's
Leslie's
watching.
the
Leslie,
boss.
can we do that? 50% off on all the SoulTopia bracelets
right here.
for Mother's Day?
You can get every pink
starting
one
Wednesday,
we have.
from Wednesday to Sunday.
Ooh.
Okay, Wednesday to Sunday, all of SoulTopia bracelets will be 50% off.
All these kind
Those,
of SoulTopia
yes,
bracelets.
those
Okay.
SoulTopia bracelets that we make.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sold. Look how pretty. And Leslie says, so how do you choose? Is there crystal confusion on your arms because you're wearing a grid of crystals on your arm and your bracelets? Hell no, you wear whatever you want.
That's right.
How about that?
Exactly.
You just slap them on and just randomly select. But yeah, sometimes people do want the pink.
And we got a few new ones that are going to be coming out this week also.
I have on one, and I know we're over. Let's see, wait. I've got on several.
I see
I've
that.
got on 3 on each arm mat, and I don't
she
think
hasn't
they've
been
made
clanging
any
around too
noise.
much.
Look, I've got that Lakshmi, I can't say it, and ametrine, and I've got the, what the heck, bracelet? That's not Elton John. I always get, is it Merlin?
Looks like Merlin.
And then I've got this basalt
That's
these are chakra, but
chakra
basalt
bracelet,
with
yeah.
the green aventurine. And then I've got the what the heck, and I think that's old one. I think that one's Leslie. You need to be on the show so you can
Yep.
tell everybody what bracelets they have because I've got so many old ones. I don't. But this one, my favorites. Is it still made? This one right here. Show that one.
I don't think so.
What is that, Leslie?
I don't think this
somebody.
one is. It's
rose
actually
quartz,
rose quartz,
lepidolite,
and
citrine.
citrine.
And I think in the middle
It's citrine.
is citrine too.
Yeah.
I love it. It feels really good. But I have no idea what it is. All right. What do we?
You know
did
what
you
there's
say-
not is there's not a Roger bracelet though.
Y'all want a Roger bracelet? You want a matte bracelet? We have a matte
We
bracelet.
had a matte bracelet. We never had a Roger bracelet.
We've never had a Roger bracelet.
Damn
Okay,
it.
we'll
Damn
make a Roger bracelet. Y'all help us design it. Y'all tell us what crystals you think should be on there.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't know if we're up to date on giving away prizes, but we are giving one tonight because I said so, or they're going to get to guess through the week. So
Oh, what's your question?
you're going to ask the question because Matt's ready to go. I can feel, I can
Matt's
read his
like, "I'm
mind.
ready to
I can
go."
read his mind. Y'all have been rude, not telling me when I'm going to ask this thing. I swear, y'all, we have been. I said, y'all, can I just say this? Has Biden really been president for almost 4 years?
Yeah.
And I'm not even being political. It's like, it's a blur. I mean, like, for COVID.
We have an election coming up.
We have an election coming up. I'm like, what planet have I been on? It's called the Write the Book planet. And I'm already ready. I have topics. That I want to write about. Really good ones, right, Roger?
Yes.
He told me. I told him one of them. He's like, that absolutely makes no sense whatsoever.
I'm going to make this week's question so easy that there's no way anybody can miss this.
What is it?
What is the SoulTopia Mother's Day bracelet discount? I just
Okay.
posted it.
And if you buy one, you might win one. I'm kidding.
It's super simple, guys.
So put it in, and we'll do that
Super
spinny
simple.
thing.
Get
And one
it
of the
winning.
things they said about Reader Studio was how many great prizes were
Yeah.
given. That is my
That
love
is true.
language. All right.
true.
So anything else, Roger?
Nope, that's it.
Matt, you've got your $100 bill now that you can write your intention on.
I do. I could use it.
And we have these right here, you guys. And now y'all know why. And you just get your permanent marker. You don't have to. And write it on there.
That's right.
Okay.
Right.
And
All right.
until next time, we will see you then.
Well, yes. See y'all next week. Good night, guys.